climate change hypocrites Extinction Rebellion drove a gas guzzler to their traffic-snarling anti-automobile protest in Edmonton, Alberta, and an intrepid Edmontonian commuter captured the whole thing on video.
I got newborn, I got feed. Let me through. I parked right there. Let me through.
Let us through in one lane.
I don't give a
one lane.
I don't give a You know me. And I want to go to work. And I want to go to work.
Let one lane go.
Yeah, I am a good person.
Thousands of commuters were stopped in idling cars for 90 minutes this morning, while the radical green Marxists from the environmental group Extinction Rebellion blocked the Walterdale Bridge in downtown Edmonton, Alberta. The protest was part of the international Bridge Out protest staged by that same environmental group, Extinction Rebellion, that caused traffic mayhem in cities all across the globe. Because nothing screams, I'm deadly serious about the threat of unnecessary CO2 emissions in the atmosphere, like forcing just about every single commuter headed into the downtown core of the capital city to idle in their car for a good hour and a half. And commuters, well, they rightly got frustrated, like this guy in his ironically fuel-efficient Honda Civic, as captured by this Edmonton Star reporter. Here. Now, after the protest was ended, after the protesters got tired of doing the closest thing to work they've done in a very, very long time, and by that I mean standing in the street doing nothing, holding hands, police had to push the cars of several stranded commuters off the street because the cars had been idling for so long that they eventually ran out of fuel. And even though Edmonton's protest involved another police force altogether, the complete lack of law enforcement that we saw when animal rights activists invaded the Jumbo Valley Hutterite colony for 6 hours and then stole 5 turkeys a month ago, well, it was completely replicated on a bridge in the middle of Edmonton's congested rush hour for those 90 minutes. Remember when animal rights activists came onto that Hutterite farm? Police attended on the scene for the entire duration of the farm invasion, and they took the names and information of all the burglars, mischief makers, and trespassers who were on site. But it's now 5 weeks later, and not a single charge has been laid to date. At that farm invasion, the RCMP negotiated on behalf of the trespassers to allow them to leave without charges and take those turkeys. Now, this morning in Edmonton, the Edmonton City Police formed a human shield in front of the bridge blocking protesters to protect the lawbreakers from a rightfully angry public. And even worse, Edmonton Police Service admitted to negotiating with the traffic terrorists in this video taken on the scene by Global News anchor Kendra Slagowski. Just watch.
Hey, nice to meet you. Just so, is this pretty much allowed to last as long as it wants, or right now, one of our coordinators is speaking with the people that are involved in the protest and trying to negotiate a bridge opening as soon as possible, okay?
And that wasn't just a misspeak by police on the scene. That happens. The official Edmonton Police Service Twitter account also tweeted that they were, quote unquote, working with protesters to get them the heck off the bridge. Work with them to get them into some handcuffs next time. They can protest somewhere, just not in the street and not on private property without the permission of the landowner. And this lack of police enforcement, it's only going to make things a lot worse for everybody. And I suspect if hundreds of Edmonton commuters blocked access to the downtown Edmonton Police Service headquarters, we would see the cops dealing with that protest in an instant. At least in Halifax, though, the police were arresting people today. Edmonton, on the other hand, seems pretty interested in becoming the Portland of the North. But the lack of police enforcement might not even be the most ridiculous thing in all of this. Actually, I think it's probably tied with the hypocrisy of the climate protesters themselves. Okay, so you see this picture here of these brave do-nothings holding hands in front of their protest canoe. Frankly, I'm not sure what the canoe is all about. Are we supposed to be taking canoes to work? Because I'll start taking a canoe to work when these activists do. Because thanks to an intrepid Edmonton citizen journalist, we know our so-called friends from Extinction Rebellion, well, they certainly didn't kayak down the North Saskatchewan to their protest on the Walterdale this morning. Oh no. We know they drove a 3/4-ton older model Chevy pickup, I'm guessing around an '02 Silverado Duramax diesel that gets about 16 miles to the gallon and sounds like it's running a little rough these days. And we know it was them because they have their stupid canoe protest prop strapped to the roof for additional lack of aerodynamics and even worse fuel mileage. I wonder how many canoe and public mischief offsets these climate activists bought to justify their traffic terrorism today. For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. To see all of our coverage from the federal election campaign, go to campaign2019.com. And while you're there, if you're so inclined, and if you like our style of accountability journalism, you can donate to cover the costs of getting our journalists to where the news is in Canada. You see, we don't take a penny from Justin Trudeau. It keeps us independent and it keeps us honest. You can donate on that website I just mentioned, campaign2019.com.